Hey guys, I'm Carrie Elaine and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing MLMs and I'll explain everything about what they are and how to avoid one because I know right now everyone's very desperate and anxious and it's very like the perfect time for these MLM people to prey on you to get you to join in the hopes of making money from your phone or start your easy business, stay at home with your kids. It looks great, it sounds great. But is it really worth it? Let's get into it. So I'm going to say what an MLM is first. It's a multi-level marketing scheme. What that means is you go to a little party, and that's usually how they get you. They say, oh, I'm having a party. Come over, don't worry, you don't have to bring anything. Like, just bring yourself or even like a friend. And you're like, okay, like party, whatever, who cares? You get there, and there's always some random person you've never seen before, and then there's like a whiteboard, and they usually say something to the effect of, oh, well, I just recently lost a lot of weight by drinking this coffee or tea or using this powder, and there's a variety of them. There are even ones like, I think there was a nail polish one at one point, and technically, makeup ones are very common still, but the one that I ended up getting sucked into was a weight loss coffee one. And long story short, I got into it because I was in college. I was very low on money and I thought I have one loan right now that's $750. My friend's dad was saying, oh, if you join this business, like you'll definitely make at least $1,000 a month, like no problem. And I thought, wow, like on my little crappy student job right now, I'm making $100 a week. Like what I could do with $1,000, man. So I went and I signed up. It was like, I think $500 to get my website, initial teas, coffees, and all that craziness. And he was like, don't worry. You're going to get on the phone calls with us. We're going to train you. Everything's going to be fine. This was my friend's dad from high school. So I trusted him. I thought, I see him like a father figure. I'm like another daughter to him. Like he wouldn't do anything that would set me up to fail. Well, the one thing you will learn is that when people are desperate to make money, they will often do whatever it takes, no matter who it hurts. So even though you want to believe in the best in people, I would say definitely use your intuition. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. So I joined the coffee company. I was told to throw parties. That was the only direction I was given. You need to throw parties and have people come over. And I said, but what do I say? Like, aside from just like, I'm throwing a party, like, what's the point of the party? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, I thought we were selling coffee. I thought we were selling tea. And they're like, well, you just need to be like, oh, like, try this coffee. Isn't it great? And like constantly like have me pushing the coffee and then mention that, it has all these benefits. Not only are you going to sleep, have all this energy, so you don't have to like worry about, oh, I didn't get enough sleep last night, but you're also going to lose weight. So like, who doesn't want to lose weight? Well, I'm a college kid. Most of the college kids at the school I went to were super fit, okay? Everyone was in the health center 24/7 because everybody was trying to go to the beach 24/7. So no one was like, I'm going to buy some $40 coffee and it's going to make me skinny. Like, that wasn't going to happen, okay? Second, it's very unhealthy to use something like that when it has like laxatives in it, and it's going to basically mess up your entire digestive tract and everything else. Like, it's not safe. I didn't realize all this. I was using the tea one because it's matcha, and I love matcha. That's like my favorite thing in the entire world. I have a matcha every morning, no matter what. So I started using their matcha because I was hawking it, so whatever, and it didn't taste bad or anything, but what I noticed is I started to get this little fat packets right below my butt on the back of my thighs. And I've never in my entire life, when I would gain weight, I would gain it in like my inner thighs or my stomach. But or even my butt, to be honest. For the longest time, I only gained weight in my butt, and then it just started to change. But I literally noticed that instantly I got these weird fat packs on the back of my thighs. And I was like, what is that? Like, I've never had this or cellulite. Like, where is this coming from? It was the product. Like, you don't know what people are putting in these things. So you have to be careful about just taking people's word for it, because even though there's an FDA, I don't even know how the process of approving this type of product is or what goes into it. I don't know if it really goes as thorough as it should, but I just can't see how you can hawk something as weight loss and basically be a diuretic and that's safe or okay. A lot of the times, another way these people will approach you is through Facebook. There'll be some girl who you've never talked to, or you've talked to like twice in your life, who will then be like, hey hun, how would you like to make money from your phone? Wouldn't it be great to make pocket change? I made more than enough money to cover my monthly expenses from me and my husband. And you're like, how are you making enough to cover 2 people from your phone, sitting at home, taking pictures? Well, a lot of, influencers make crazy money. It's usually through brand deals. Like, it's not going to be just like normal person who doesn't have at least like 100,000 followers, So from that, you're like, what are you saying, And usually if you say, oh, no, thank you, they get kind of defensive, and they usually will tell you like, I was like you too, but it's fine. When you're ready, you can come to me. And you're like, okay, like, I already have a job, but thank you. Oh, the one thing that people don't realize too with MLMs is like, you're going to spend more money than you're going to make no matter what, because you're an independent contractor, so you're going to have to fill out a 1099, which means at the end of the year, whatever you did make, you're going to have to pay taxes on it. Most people don't put money aside, which is very bad, and then they're in more debt than they already were from selling a product that they couldn't afford. A lot of these companies make you do an auto ship, where every month you have to take a certain amount of products. So like, I think for us it was like each coffee or tea was I think $36, and automatically when I got there I think I had to buy like 8 of them. So after about a month and a half I realized like this was not working. I realized this was a scam. I realized I was an idiot for falling for this. But like I said, when you're young and you're vulnerable, or even in a time like now where people are losing their jobs, people are scared, and you think, oh, you know what? What's it gonna hurt? Well, you're gonna be in more debt. That's what's gonna hurt. Luckily, I was able to sell it. I went on Craigslist and I posted all of the coffees I had and was like, hey, doing a bundle, like sell this to you for 2 something. So like I sold everything and I got basically like all my money back with the exception of like $100. So I came out fairly unscathed, but I had reached out to my friend's dad and told him that I was quitting and told him that this wasn't working, like people weren't buying, and I don't have time for the stress, and I can't keep paying auto ship every month. Like I was already barely eating at that point in my life. Like $100 a week is not much, and I was like coupon clipping as it was. Like everyone else is like going out doing whatever, and I'm over here like, okay, like asparagus is $1 this week. I guess we're gonna eat a lot of asparagus. Like, let me get 1 pound of fish and try to stretch that out for 3 days. Like, I just didn't have it. And I think a lot of people are feeling that way right now. And I just don't want anyone to ever get in a situation that they can't handle. So I'm not ashamed to admit that I made a dumb mistake and that you should learn from it and be aware. And that's why I think MLMs are wrong. It's not about selling a product like a normal company. It's about getting other people to join, because as people join, you go up in the tiers, thus multi-level marketing. Meaning, if you're at the top of the pyramid, you're number 1, and you have 3 people below you, and then they have 3 people below them, you get a percentage for each person on your team. So if you have 50 people under you and you get, say, of every person they make join or every coffee they auto ship to themselves, you get 5%. Yeah, you're probably doing pretty okay until your line starts to dead out, and it'll happen. And that's why usually there's someone above the person above you barking at them to push you and tell them that you're not trying hard enough and all this. But it's all just a bunch of baloney. Like, even with the incentives, I remember one of the incentives was like, if you sold at a certain level, then you got a brand new BMW, and it was like a white one. I didn't want a BMW. I grew up in an area where a lot of people either had like, the 2 standard cards people got was literally like a BMW for graduation, or your Sweet 16, or a Toyota Corolla for your Sweet 16. Those were literally the 2 cars. So when I turned 16, my mom was like, what do you want? And I was like, I want a Mitsubishi. I don't want any of this crap. I don't want what everyone else has. Okay? I want something different. Thank you very much. So when they said, oh, if you reach this level, you'll get a BMW and we'll pay for it, I was like, I don't want a BMW. I currently drive a Fiat, and I love my little Fiat. Okay? Like, we fine. Me and my little fiat are living our best life. Thank you very much. What I found out is they lease it, but it's in your name, so it goes on your credit. But if you don't make a certain rank every month, so say if that was like emerald level or level 4 or something was the level you had to get the car, if you had 1 month where you dropped down to say level 5 or ruby for whatever the other one was, they use a lot of weird code names for different levels and different MLMs. It's crazy. You can actually look at this on Reddit. Reddit has a lot of great information, and I highly suggest if your friend has invited you to something or someone you trust and you think it sounds good, Google the name of whatever it is and the word Reddit or scam, and 9 times out of 10 you will find the truth. As much as your friend doesn't want to admit it, there's a lot of people that are doing a lot of Photoshop with these types of companies and then making people think that people are getting results and they're not. Or they're doing terrible things like eating disorders or overworking out, and it's just not fair. It's not fair to like market something that isn't actually working and get people to spend a lot of money on it. I don't agree with that. I think that's wrong. And so that's why I wanted to share this. But back to the whole car thing, they make it a point, if you drop a level, to take your car away. So you have this lease now in your name, but you can't even drive this vehicle. And all I could think is, isn't that like mandatory repossession? Wouldn't that make your credit score go down? And also, if I'm now having to buy more product to make sure I don't lose my car that I technically couldn't afford, like, who puts themselves in these situations, people? Why? When you could literally just get a regular job and not deal with craziness. And also, my final and biggest point, whenever you're starting a job, it's very, very rare that you will have to put out money to start the job, with the exception of paying for a uniform, which usually doesn't exceed like $150 max, and even that's like pushing it. You're never going to be putting like $500 down in the beginning to start a job. So just think about that. Whenever someone says, oh, I have this great job opportunity for you, but you have to spend $500, $1,000, whatever the crazy number is to get started on getting paid for the job. Smells fishy, you know? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have any of you ever fallen prey to an MLM? Do you know people who have? Obviously, I am not for them. I am against them. So I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Bye.